Let's throw a light over here. It's a little dark. I had the light go out the other day. Haven't got it replaced yet. Here we go. Boom. What's up, John Hayes? How you doing, man? You got any questions for me? I'm here. Shoot me some questions. How long you been playing for, dude? Get a shot on me, guys? 2 years. That's awesome, man. What kind of style do you like? Are you into pop, blues, fingerstyle, country? What are we doing? Let me know. It's my first live chat, so I'm still kind of figuring it out. I'm gonna grab a pick. I don't think I got a pick in here somewhere. That's all good. Okay. Shoot me the question or questions. What you want to know? Okay. I like that. That's how some of the when I see live music, when I see a band, I kind of grade them on multiple factors. Obviously, one's talent, one's songwriting, one's just like stage presence overall, and one of, I think, the more defining characteristics of what makes a good band great, is when they kind of have a conglomerate, as you said, of styles. They kind of mix it up. So, I mean, in my opinion, some of the best bands do that. It's not a hard rule. Like AC/DC is like just rock and roll. So it's like, obviously, you can make it work and stick to one lane. But as of kind of my recent favorites, they kind of do this thing where they mash things up and they make it interesting. So break it down a little bit, go into a little bit of some of those styles and some questions based on those styles. I'm here for you. Let's see if I can snag a pick out of here. I had a whole mess of them. What is the question? I'm just gonna be sitting here searching for a pick until I get one. It's been one of those days. Give me some questions, guys. I can sit here and jam all day. I'm cool with that, but I'm here for you. What do you guys want to know? Okay, we got blues, psychedelic rock, or jazz, R&B. I like it. Yeah, connecting the pentatonic. Yeah, I remember when I learned that myself. Man. So I think I only did the first half, though. I think it was just that. And I'm kind of playing an A minor here, C major. Right, that's like position 5. Position 1. So connecting that, it's just all about that like side by side whole steps. That's really kind of the secret. And then one of those little nuances that took me a minute to kind of get comfortable with was connecting position 1 and position 2 by way of the second finger. Right? And so bring it all the way up to the second position. And again, it's just all about side by side whole step spots, right? And those connectors. Let me go ahead and show you a different connector for you guys. So check this out. So this right here is position 5, as we discussed. Position 1, position 2. I'm gonna have to stretch a little bit because of the lack of the cutaway. I can always just grab my Strat here. But essentially, you've got position 2, right here. Okay, I'm thinking A minor. Okay, position 3. And if I'm going over something new, it's all good. You'll still understand kind of the what really matters as long as you're following along. So this is position 4. And so the connector is actually from position 2 up to position 3. Whole step, whole step. And then position 3 to position 4. Right? So position 2 to position 3 up to position 4. And this is, if I'm this high up on the neck, this is typically where I'm going to use my second finger a bunch more instead of my third. And you can even go so far as to take position 4 up to position 5. Hopefully that made sense. Did that help? Yeah, 2 frets. Yeah, exactly. That's all it really is. And again, it's when 2 frets are side by side, right? So that's the trick. You can transition here in position 1 to position 2. Nothing wrong with that. I do that all the time. Nothing wrong with that. It's just less efficient. It's just not the roadmap of the pros. I mean, most of the solos you'll play, they're going to be doing this. Right? You can always reinvent the wheel. Nothing wrong with that, but remember what Hendrix said. One must master the rules to break the rules. Did that help? Let me know. Oh, not covering the mic here. Brings back the stage. Sorry if that was loud on your end. Blues. You want me to go into? I can get into some blues stuff. I can go deep on pentatonic. I could do some jazzy stuff for you. I can do like an intro to jazz. me some questions, you guys. Don't just pop in and pop out. I'm just here to answer questions, preguntas. I'll do some more. I'll do some jazz stuff. Let's do. Yeah. Got a good one for me. Okay. I feel like I should. Yeah, I can do this with the electric. Yeah, it's interesting because if you go to see Clapton play now, I don't know if he's still playing, but in the last few years, he would just stick to position one. It was just this. It was just like, so if he was playing something in A, right? Right. And the reason why that particular shape is so common and why we call it position one is there's a multifaceted reasons, but one of the main reasons is because it's actually got 2 octaves in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's another 1. Okay, so it's a pentatonic scale, 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. So you get yourself 2 full octaves, and that's one of the reasons why it's so popular. Also, it doesn't hurt that it's just got a nice flat bar right there, right? So that bar does simplify things and makes it much easier to play, as well as this kind of flat, little feature here. It's just really not that complex to play, and that's why it's easy to stick there. You could stay there all day, all night, rip crazy solos for any shows you played. In fact, I will tend to rest mostly on that one myself, as do most guitar players, because so many tasty riffs are in there. I've actually got a product where it's called 50 Blues Rock Licks, and I think 30 of them are in that particular shape. I almost struggled to find, really good ones in the others. So I get where you're coming from. You're kind of right. It's like, yeah, you could just not, explore any of the other shapes. However, one of the main reasons why I like to explore the other shapes is because I'll play things differently. There'll be different melodic ideas that I will be pulling out of a different shape. So you can do a lot of the same kind of moves, but it's just when you switch up the approach, the landscape, you're going to switch up how you're approaching it, and you're going to create something different. So while you can definitely get by playing in just this position one, right, all day and say A minor, it definitely won't hurt in keeping your audience and keeping the listener's attention if you're able to explore other shapes, because you'll play a little differently. But also, let's just be honest, it just looks cool when you do a big run up the neck, right? Part of it, like I was saying, whenever I analyze a band, when I'm breaking down a band, when I'm listening to a band, I should say, I can't help it. As a professional teacher and a musician, I can't help but kind of like judge every aspect of it. It doesn't mean I'm not enjoying it. It just means I kind of have an idea of like where they're at. And so a big part of it is the showmanship, is the stage presence. It's not musical at all, typically. In this way, it kind of is. When you watch somebody playing this, sounds great. But when you watch someone do this, right, you can see that they're creating, they're building something. Also, in a lot of the classic solos, the best solos, you'll see, and this is something I tend to do in my own music, where I try to attempt to create a sense of its building, right? Listen to some of the best solos in the world, some of the classics, and it's most likely going to follow that same kind of way, where the octave starts a little bit lower down the neck, right? And just goes up and up and up. You could probably think of like 10 off the top of your head if you've been playing for 2 years, right? And so it also has that aspect of it. It gives you access to different octaves of notes from lower to higher. And so typically whenever I really want to write a killer solo, I actually have to do that this weekend for a new song that my band's working on. That's what I'm going to be doing. I just am going to be simply thinking maybe if it's an A minor, maybe starting here, giving you some cool tasty somethings and bringing it up and then bringing it up, maybe ending here. Right? And that way I've created a sense of we're going somewhere. So you're keeping their attention. Okay. It's just one of my, go-tos. And I think it's one of the pros go-tos. Songs tend to do that as well. I mean, a lot of the best songs will have a feeling of it keeps climbing up. So I try to do the same thing with the guitar. And that's why you want to access those different shapes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a fun one, man. You got some good ones. Yeah, I love it. So the BB box, right? Yeah, let's talk. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot to unpack. I'll do it. All right, we're here. So check this out. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll play position 3, right? That guy. Right? There's your root over here and your root here, right? So yeah, that one is interesting. So Albert King used it a lot as well. You're right. It's cool because you can do some stuff in there. And that's one of the shapes I was thinking of when I was telling you. When you explore other boxes, you'll play differently. 3 is one of the weirder ones, right? So let's just kind of start right off with saying, let's just call it what it is. Most guitar players are, I say, lazy, or maybe efficient might be a better word. And that efficiency is coming from playing a lot by doing a little. And so you'll see guys go, sounds great. It's easy to play fast there. But the interesting stuff comes there. I'm not going to play lines like that down here or even up here. I just won't. So that's why I tend to rest in that one a little bit as well, just to explore it. Now, the BB box. You get that sweetness, right? So that is because he's actually mixing scale. He's mixing minor and major at the same time. So that's why he's able to get that extra spicy, beautiful, maybe spicy is not the word, but it's got a sweetness to it. And that's what that BB box is. So I don't know if we want to go off on a deep end there, but I'll kind of let me just show you what the BB box is. I think I've got a video on my channel. Look at my channel, and I think I've got one there. It's been a while, and I've taught this concept a lot, so maybe not. But basically, if I'm thinking I'm playing blues and A, right? And so what I'm actually doing is I'm cheating a little bit. I'm thinking minor, but I'm also thinking major at the same time. That would be position 4, the A major pentatonic, okay? And so when you cross those a little bit and just pick some of the best ones, you're going to get, and I'm playing an A, 11th fret of your G string, 10th fret of your B string, 12th fret of your B string, 13th fret of your B string, 10th fret high E, and then 12th fret high E. Okay, so it even kind of sounds cool while you're playing it. So I don't know if that's the first time you've heard of that or played that, but that's a fun. And when I learned that, I was like, oh my God, I'm such a legend now. Like I barely knew anything. but I sounded good automatically. And so again, it's a blending of boxes. That's to really go deep. That's a lesson. That's a whole like we got to hit it for a while to understand what's going on. So, but yeah, mixing majors and minors. That's where that will come from, and that is what is considered the BB box. Zeppelin, Jimmy Page has got some really tasty little things he's done. So yeah, Taylor Made, what's up? Welcome. Busted my ring finger a while back, having problems hitting the B major chord lately. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that sucks, man. Well, I definitely recommend. So, if you were my personal student, I would first of all I would have you play the B major, and like I'm assuming you're playing it like this, kind of this double bar method. So if I'm wrong, please let me know right away, and I'll kind of change it up. But I'm pretty sure you're meaning that, right? So that ring finger can no longer play this efficiently, right? If it's got a sharp pain, don't play this chord. Don't play this chord if it has a sharp pain. If it's kind of like just a little dull aching, at that point, maybe just give it some rest, but you might be able to play with it a little bit. So there's two ways to play an A-shaped bar chord. There's this way, and this is exactly how I teach it to all my students. I'm always like, so you're going to see me playing A-shaped bar chords like this double bar method. And in my opinion, I think it's the best one. However, like most things that are great, they take work. This thing will take a lot more work than another way. So another way of playing a B major chord is to do this. And I've played with some monster guitar players who play it this way. Just because I do it differently doesn't mean it's the best way. You can do either one. And so for me, it just never, I don't know. I didn't like I just give me that call of the day. This right here, though, is the second finger is on the D string of the 4th fret. My third finger is on the G string of the 4th fret. My 4th finger is on the B string of the 4th fret. And I'm going to bar that 2nd fret, obviously. You know that part. And so that's another way of doing it. Hopefully that helps. It's kind of all I've got for you. Now I know we're still using that 3rd finger, right? So if it's still giving you a lot of pain or you can't move it, maybe just do something kind of like this, kind of cheat it a little bit. The way that I start my A-shaped bar chord students is I get them playing the top 3. Or we'll do just like the bottom 2. Now it's a power chord at that point, but I'm avoiding that 3rd finger. So that will get you by in a pinch, but unfortunately it's all I got. Hopefully that helped. Here's another one. Okay, he's got a bunch. I love it. Bending and getting a good vibrato on my acoustic if I tune down a few strings. Let me read that again. I think I see what you're saying. So you're thinking just separate concepts, bending and vibrato. So, all right, so let's talk about the acoustic, and I'm playing that. So obviously that is going to be thicker strings because there's no magnets in here that are, helping emanate the sound. So it's relying on the acoustics as in the name. And so there's going to be heavier gauge strings. So that way there's a little bit more volume and punch. Now with that though, it becomes a harder task to bend, and these strings are just less malleable. So what I recommend doing is getting lighter gauge strings. Yes, tuning down will help, but at a certain point, it'll start to rattle and buzz. So just get light gauge strings. Go for something real small on the acoustic, So on an acoustic, 12s are kind of like a medium. Go for 10s, just throw some 10s on there and bend away on it. Now keep in mind, you're going to have a thinner tone overall. You just will. So thinner string, thinner tone, but you'll be able to bend effortlessly. That's what I would say. And I haven't seen your technique, but your technique might be a little off. Make sure you're bending with your wrist is getting involved in that, right? Make sure it's not just a lot of beginners will just bend with their fingers like this. They're just moving them like this, right? And we can't do that, right? Same thing with the vibrato. But it shouldn't really affect vibrato, even if having a heavier gauge string. You should be able to just give it a little wiggle. The secret to a good vibrato is to 2 things. Remember to always come home. I'm just coming back to center. So I'm not bending it down and up. I'm not just skipping the note, right? I'm back and forth. I'm actually, this is my note. I'm going to go outside of that note. Start slow. Yeah, so anyways, that's what I'd say for vibrato, start slow. What did I miss? Did I miss anything? All right, cool. All right, thanks for the compliment. Yeah, you probably got some 12s. 12s are the standards when you get an acoustic. It's just kind of the common thing. But yeah, 10s will help you out a ton. It'll make it such a cakewalk. But I definitely recommend, working your strength though at the same time. And once you get to the electric, it's going to be like super easy for you. But either way, then thinner strings will help. That's the game though. It's like you're going to have lighter strings, so they have a little bit less on the tone, less bass, if you will, but you're going to be able to shred. So I do this thing where I actually have a couple different acoustic guitars. One that I play more rhythm style for, and then one that if I know I want to be bending and shredding, then I grab the other one. The other one's Breed Love. You've probably seen it in some of my videos. It's got a cutaway, and that cutaway allows me to not only get up there, but then it's got the lighter gauge strings, so I can go crazy and bend and do all the things I would normally do on an electric. This one here is definitely more 12 gauge standard, no cutaway. It's a great sounding, warm sounding Martin. And so I love this one a lot. I just don't shred around on it a little. This is the guitar that I grab when I want to just kind of noodle around and play something. I'm here at my music school right now, so it's been kind of the favorite of my teachers for sure, because it just plays itself. I've got a really great luthier who set it up. Couple minutes left. I was hoping to just do a half hour, so if you want to shoot me another one. Yeah, I get that, and I don't know why, but most of the time I feel like those guys are being honest in those stores. So you were probably telling them about what you're trying to do with it, and hopefully he gave you the right recommendation. If you were like, oh, I want to be slash, I'm shredding, I'm up the neck, of course he's going to want to get you that cutaway. It's definitely less. You only been playing for 2 years, so you're probably not going up that far that much right now anyway. I might be wrong, but yeah, anything without a cutaway is fine. Technically you might get a little bit more resonance because there's just more wood and therefore more area for the sound waves to be bouncing in and out of, but it's kind of negligible really. So, but yeah, if you have one last question, hit me with it, and we'll make that the last one, man. I appreciate you coming and hanging out. Albert/Gilmore. What do you mean by that? Albert/Gilmore? Like, those are all great guitar players for sure. Got one more. Let me know. I'm gonna call it here in about a minute or so if you don't got anything though. But I appreciate you hanging, and let me help you out a little bit. I love doing this stuff. I'll probably do another one. I'll probably try to make this maybe a weekly thing. It's like a little half hour. Oh yeah, Nuno. Oh, really? You said Albert/Gilmore? Huh. Interesting. Why would he give you some Nuno? Man, that's probably one of the harder acoustic songs. Nuno's such a freaking monster. He's in another stratosphere. I will tell you that much. But yeah, if you were saying Albert, Slash, and Gilmore, he should have. Let me look up an Esteban. Now, specifically, an Esteban. Here's my guitar. So, were you saying it was an Esteban acoustic guitar with no cutaway? Is that what you're saying? I mean, unless you were really like, hey, I want to play Spanish style and mostly rhythm. Maybe he just analyzed you because you're like a beginner at the time. I don't know what stage you're on. Some guitar guys are just like real lazy, like, oh, you're a beginner, get an acoustic guitar with no cutaway. But I don't think that's the answer. Yeah. Yeah, I would say, man, you're only a couple years in, so you still got some time to really develop your skills and your chops. I don't know how hard you work, but it's simple as this. More time is all that it is. I had no natural skill. I was just obsessed with it. And I got lucky. I got good teachers as well. That's what really catapulted me quicker than anything. But yeah, I think that's all it was. He just wrote you off like, oh, another beginner, buy this guitar. I would keep it, but man, if you want to do Gilmore, if you want to do Slash, Albert, they all play different kind of guitars. But what would be my advice there? Because they're so different. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that I guess makes sense. But man, if someone, yeah. So, and you know what? I'm assuming this is an acoustic because all I'm seeing on Esteban's, all I've ever seen was their acoustic, which is fine. So here's a really common myth, and I give people this advice all the time. I have a music school right here that's got 130 students a week, and I would say 98% of parents and students believe that you have to buy an acoustic guitar for your first guitar. Now, although that is not bad advice, it's not necessarily good advice. You could argue that if you can learn on an acoustic, it's a little bit harder. And so, moving to the electric will be easy. I don't know. You could argue that. But I say if you came to me as I'm your teacher, you found me like, hey, these are the guys I want to play. I'm like, well, we're buying you an electric first thing, And if you were a kid or someone else was buying it for you, they might be like, well, isn't it acoustic? Like for some reason, that's just in everyone's head. And I'd be like, I would say this is what I'm saying to you right now. It's like, well, that's kind of a very common way to go. That's what I guess, if you will, the herd would do. But it's not necessarily the right thing. Don't follow the herd, man. That's rock and roll right there, man. Don't follow the herd. Do your thing. And I'm telling you right now, if you came to me wanting to solo and rip, yeah, Clapton, Phil X, yeah, dude. I mean, I'm just saying. So the thing is this instrument's already hard enough. So I want to get you playing stuff that you're excited about as soon as possible. And any good teacher can kind of, I don't want to say water it down, but simplify it maybe and make things a little bit easier, more approachable. So here's what a good teacher will do. And so if you guys are shopping around for teachers, or if you don't have a teacher, get a teacher. I'm telling you, it'll change your game because it'll keep you accountable. And if they're good, they're going to just send you to the moon. You don't have to guess and reinvent the wheel. They'll just tell you, here's the path. And again, if it's a good teacher. And so where I was going with that was, sorry guys, being a little bit dry. A good teacher is going to know that it's going to take work. It's going to take work to get good at this thing. And so he should be able to find what you want to do, get you started on it, and get you tasting it a little bit, right? So if let's just say you were obsessed with, let's pick one of these guys. Let's pick Slash. Let's just say Slash is like, that's my guy. Oh my God, if I can play anything by Slash. So I'd say, cool, you're getting a Les Paul. Straight up. It's fine. There's cheaper Les Pauls. You can go Epiphone and get something decent, if money is the issue. And so anyways, get the Les Paul. Here's what's going to happen. It's got a shorter neck, so it's already easier to play than almost any guitar on the market. Any guitar on the market, and I mean that, especially acoustic, but of course, even electric, standard Strat's going to be a longer neck. You get a Les Paul, it's literally the least resistance you'll have on the guitar. Same gauge, but because of the length of the neck is shorter, it's got less string, so you're fighting less. So even those basic riffs are easier to press down and play, and the basic chords are really easy. That on an acoustic is 10 times harder than on a Les Paul. It just is, And yeah, me too, man. They do a good job. Gibson owns them, obviously, so and they put in a little bit more effort, I think, in the quality department. I haven't played a ton lately, so don't quote me on that. Definitely go in and play. I guess another reason why you should get a teacher, so they can go into the store with you and just tell you this is garbage, this is great. So, and a teacher doesn't have anything to gain. He doesn't care if you buy a $2,000 guitar or a $100 guitar. He'll just tell you what's a good guitar. So that's perfect. But yeah, man, I'd get you a Les Paul Epiphone tomorrow. You're welcome. I'm terrible to get advice for it when it comes to oh, should I buy a guitar? I'm always like, yes. But since you want to play Slash, you're going to get the tone. You're going to start to get closer to that sounds great on acoustic, sure. But if I have that ripping through an amp and a Les Paul, it's like, oh my God, that's the way. And so, and you're 2 years in, so I'm not going to give you advice for a beginner, but I would say, the exception of getting a good teacher, I would say, pick the stuff that you're super excited about, like get a top 10 list. And then start going through it, looking through the tabs. You've been playing long enough, you can assess what's going to be harder or not. Go for the easiest guy, make it at the top of the list. Try to get to where you're just 80% on that song. You don't be 100% nailed it all, perfect note for note. Just get to where I'm satisfied at 80%. And by that I mean even if it's at a slower speed, such as 80% speed. Get it to where you got you can basically do it and then build onto another one and get the next one. Well, maybe coming back to that first one, maybe it's the bridge that stumped you on the chords or the solo or something. Come back to it, play with it, right? Keep that song kind of in maybe a list, get a Google Doc or a book or something, and just kind of make notes of where you were, because what is measured is improved. Remember that. What can be measured can be improved. Yeah, you can definitely get good and just jam around and kind of goof off, and if you do it long enough, you can be competent. But if you want to get good fast, that's the game. So yeah. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that, Taylor. I've been doing it a long time, so I've been doing it for over 20 years. So we're saying just work my way backwards to the acoustic. Yeah, no, forget that. Buy a Les Paul. If I'm just using that as an example, by the way. If Slash is your guy, get a Les Paul tomorrow. If Clapton is your guy or Gilmore, you can still do all that stuff on a Les Paul. It doesn't matter. Your tone will be a little bit different, but they're more stratty players, of course. So maybe if you're leaning towards more of those guys, get a Strat. Anyways, just kind of look at what your heroes are doing, some of your favorite songs, the albums, what guitar were they using, get that, because you're going to get closer right away. You're going to be so excited, and it's going to pull you through the pains of learning guitar. It's one of those things. And I would say don't think of it as working way backward to acoustic. I'd say if you're going to sing and play something, acoustic's the way to go. Simple as that. Or if you're playing something that's acoustic, that's the song, play it on acoustic, keep it simple, but keep 2 guitars. I'm all about, having different guitars for different tools for different jobs, so that's why I do have all kinds of guitars in here. I've got, I technically picked this thing up and show you guys, but I'm not going to. There's a whole bunch of students out there who are learning with other teachers, but that's why I do have the Strat, because once in a while when I play a show, the Strat is so easy for me to play. It's got this low action. It's got these really nice. This is a $2,000 Strat. This was given to me by one of my students years ago. I literally cried when he gave it to me. I couldn't even believe it. But this thing basically plays itself. Oh my goodness. it's just so easy to play. So this is my, like, when I know I got to show up on payday, it's a big show, I'll use this. I like the whammy. Now, my one complaint about this is, thank you, is I've got to work a lot harder to get a punch. If I want to knock someone in the teeth with a song, I've got to grab the Les Paul. And so I'll grab this guy and I'll play this. And I'm a wildly different player when I play this than when I play the Strat. Also, I tend to wrestle this a little bit more. I tend to have to work a little harder for it. Not for the bending. The bending's easier, as I was saying before. But because the frets are a little bit more raised here, he's a little higher, right? So slides, I can feel it. Can I file those down? Yeah. Can you go buy like a really nice Les Paul, like $2,000-$3,000, spend it on the standard? Absolutely, and that'll be of assistance. They definitely have a little bit more of tuning issues in general. That has to do with the way the neck's designed. But man, if you really want to punch someone in the mouth with rock and roll, there's just no other guitar. This is what it is. But yeah, so that's what I would say. I would say explore guitars, get a good teacher who will help you through this process, who has nothing to gain from it at all. And that way you get a nice, honest opinion on what you should be purchasing. So yeah, cool. That was fun, you guys. I definitely was enjoying those questions. Hopefully I helped you guys out. I'm going to sign off, but I definitely appreciate it. If you guys want to request a video of any kind, if you guys want to have me teach something and release it, definitely shoot me an email at mccormickguitarlessons@gmail.com. I'll put it here for you guys. Just let it hang for a second. I can type. I got this double screen, so it looks like I'm looking to the side, but this is what I'm seeing here. Work? Yeah. Have fun, you guys. Yeah, I mean, there's a PayPal I've got somewhere. I've got a little PayPal link at the bottom, like, of every video that I do. So yeah, I always appreciate that. Thank you very much. That really means a lot to me, guys. But I'm going to sign off. You guys have a great rest of your day or night or wherever you're at. And thanks again for joining in. Thanks for hanging with me for a minute.